Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends both in pubs, ranked, and of course tournament scrims. There is a universal quick pro tips outside of aiming and legend choice that I think is going to make you an overall better player. So, let's get right into it. Number 1, you're taking way too long to loot. I can't even begin to focus on aim, positioning, or meta if you're too busy stuck in the box shopping. When you're playing a battle royale or just really any game, there is really no time to shop. When entering a box, know what you need and get out. This is literally the most basic tip, but it flies across universally from pubs to ranked to even tournament play. Whenever you're looking at the mistake like, okay, you spent too much time doing this, you could have caught up with us. Or why did you loot that area whenever you were fine? Did you need the extra 60 ammo when you already have 100 bullets and we could have gotten that extra loot off of perhaps a squad wipe? So listen, if you spend 15 seconds out in the open trying to get that loot, that is 15 seconds to get shot at or late to a new position, which leads me to my next point. Number 2, seconds matter. Remember, in any battle royale game or just any game in general like CSGO or even something as simple as Battlefield, that a game lasts for a predetermined amount of time. In a battle royale case, this is due to a circle closing. Or in CSGO's sense, just as an example, even though this is tips for Apex Legends, a round only will last for a predetermined time to arm the bomb. This means that a game will play out in a very similar way. You got to look at it like chess. There's only a certain number of moves that you can make, and there are certain moves within that category that are going to be the best. And this helps in removing some RNG in an obvious RNG-based game. And of course, if you don't know what RNG means, it means random number generation. So you're just rolling the dice, essentially. So when you land, know where loot is. Now, the loot, whenever you drop, is going to be random, but know where you're going. The biggest problem in pro games even is that when you finish looting and you are wandering, that time wandering can spent looting a different area, checking if people are pushing, maybe there's a third party going on, maybe you hear shots happening, or maximizing on taking optimal positioning in the new circle. This is why a lot of people run Pathfinder and scrims, just an example. It's a vital tip, and it goes on to my next advice, is review your gameplay. I cannot stress this enough, even if you're just pubbing. Record via Shadowplay, Xbox, record literally any software at any quality. Even if it's a low budget quality like 480p, at least you can see and make out exactly what was happening. You need to review when you wasted time, when you sat there doing nothing, maybe you were shopping for too long, maybe you made a mistake pushing without anybody being with you, and you asked a difficult question of what you can do to be better. The biggest problem is that in a battle royale game, you get one shot. So in a game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, obviously you keep respawning. You can come in and say, oh, I died right there, and know that, okay, I'm going to take a different angle and reposition. In a Battle Royale, you need to already know what the positions are and what the outcome of that encounter is going to be before making the decision. An example, you push from low ground. You see they have height. Now, in any video game, fighting the low ground is very difficult. If you respawn, sure, you can get the jump on them, right? You can take a different off angle, but it's obvious their hitbox for the person at top is going to be smaller. It will be harder to get up to that individual. That other individual has the optimal positioning and has a higher chance of winning the encounter. This really leads up to my next point. Take smart fights. You ever wonder why you see everyone third-partying? Well, logically, this is the most basic fight to take. It's asking yourself these questions if you're aiming to win and what is the best scenario. Am I taking a low ground situation? What are the guns that I have? Are they suitable for this encounter? Am I pushing by myself? Do I know how many people are in the enemy team? Do I know their armor situation? An example, if you have white armor and you shoot them and they have gold, probably not the smartest fight to take. Now, if you shoot them and you notice they have Evo and both of your squad mates have purple, this is a very logical fight to take. It's just knowing your engagement and knowing when to take a fight and when not to take a fight. Let's say you notice, just an example, you notice a building is being occupied by both a Caustic and a Watson, right? And you fight this fight, and let's say there's 10 people remaining and you're pretty close to the last circle, meaning everyone is pretty well within a general vicinity. So if you're trying to push that building and you want to get them out of it, but you know the fight is going to take a long time because 1, they have a Caustic, and then 2, the longer you take the fight, the more you're going to be pestered by third-party encounters. Now, you can always, you gotta kind of think big brain here in terms of taking a fight. You can kind of go for the fight and bait it, then leave, wait for the other team to potentially third party and get in on that action, or just wait for them to get pushed out or move out. Just knowing when to take a fight is extremely powerful, and it can be a conversation that we have later on this channel in terms of meta and making smart decisions, because I notice a lot of people always make these poor decisions when taking a fight. You see it a lot in pubs because obviously it's pubs, you kind of do it for fun, but taking a smart fight means everything. If you notice that a fight is taking longer than, let's say, 45 seconds, and you know that the circle, let's just say, just closed in, and you have 45 seconds, that is 45 seconds getting to a better optimal position and knowing if you are outside of the zone. Let's use this scenario that the Caustic and Watson were in a building, but the circle now pulled away from them. You do not need to take that fight anymore unless you're just pretty much trying to say, hey, I have the bigger ego and I know I can take it, which you definitely can. But if you know that you're wasting precious seconds to get into the zone, there's no reason to sit there and continue to fight it. Unless you get that solid crack, their HP, you just say, screw it, I'm just going to YOLO in. But even then, if you lose a person, you get third-partied, you now know why you lost that fight. And that's why we have all these issues with third parties, especially when you look at the kill feed and you saw somebody was knocked. It's a very clear indication to say, this is a solid third party, I'm going to push this. So that kind of goes into the next tip that I have. Number 5, know your level of engagement. So obviously with taking a smart fight, you have to know a good choice of weapon combos. I can further elaborate this as well in further guides and meta, so be sure to leave a comment, a like, and I'm more than happy to explain further on this because there's so much to talk about in full detail about this game. It's why I really enjoy it. But think of it this way. You play Wraith. You need to know your engagements are going to be up close and personal because obviously that's what you have your queue to go into phase, right? And when you use your portal, you're either going to portal into a third party, you're using it for a rotation, and when you're using it for a rotation, you're the first one to be in the fight once you put that portal down. Now, even if when you take the portal back, your gun engagement is going to be point blank range. So you have to ask yourself, okay, it's probably not the smartest thing for the Wraith to run around with the longbow. So you have to be mindful of your weapon combo. If you see, of course, the opposite spectrum of this, because you know a Wraith can definitely use a sniper, especially if everyone is playing passive. I'm not saying that's the only combo she can run, but you have to be mindful if you're going to be the most aggro person, and you know that you just have to be mindful of the weapons you're running. An example, if you see everyone camping and taking slow fights, unless you have a very aggro team or partners, you're going to be taking, obviously, more long-range fights. Because if you have the R99 and Mastiff, you're not going to be doing the same amount of damage than, let's say, somebody that has a G7 and your other partner has a longbow. That's just the reality of the situation. You're going to be doing less damage than your counterparts. And if they're both sniping and you guys have optimal positioning and they're getting picks and they're getting knocks, then it's up to you as the Wraith to put that portal down, go in and clean up that damage. But it depends. You have to think about synergy and what your role that you're going to play. If you play Watson or support character, you're most likely going to be the last person into a fight because you don't have that, oh shoot button, I got to get out of here. You need to snag every level of damage and push right in after help them secure the kill. So you need to be mindful of your weapon choice. Know if you have the power for close range, mid range, or even long range, and that you need to switch depending on the situation. There's so much caveats to this. I would love to go more in depth, but I don't want to keep this video too long, and I hope this information is helpful. Again, I know that I'm talking quite a bit along this. My goal is not to stretch this to 10 minutes. I really want you guys to have this information. But another example, for me, I snipe a ton. I do not want a sniper on the final circle. Partly because, you know, let's say if it's the final circle and everyone's point blank range and everyone has a Mastiff and shotgun, I probably need to switch my weapon. You should consider swapping fast to another gun as the circle closes in, perhaps if you knock a team. Because you know all fights will be close range. But again, don't spend too much time shopping. You need to get that gun and get out and just rotate. You need to know the moment when you need to switch. Also, these, again, are examples. There's many different variables to these switch situations that I have just provided and I could touch upon in various further guides. But just remember the key things that we talked about. This will literally make you a better player. Don't take too long looting. Seconds matter. And with seconds matter, review your gameplay and see where you're wasting time. Take smart fights when reviewing your gameplay. And then know your level of engagement. And the fight that you took, did you run up on somebody with a longbow when they had a Mastiff with a purple bolt? These are questions you should always ask yourself. I hope you found this video helpful and these tips to get you in the mindset of getting better and upping your gameplay and making you more of a pro player. I appreciate all of you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.